Hello our beautiful viewers, welcome back to Afri Diyataa YouTube channel. In this episode, we visit a young African farmer, Samba Drammeh, who made the bold decision to leave his career in technical and industrial work to pursue agriculture. Today, Samba owns a large farming company in Gunjur, the Gambia, and is now one of the rising young entrepreneurs inspiring many youths across the continent. Through his dedication, Samba continues to motivate and encourage young people to venture into agriculture, showing them that farming is not only rewarding but also a powerful tool for economic empowerment. Despite his success, Samba has never received any support from the government.
5 years, Ndenina collects. We are close to 100. None of us has received help from the government. And in Grand Soil Katala Farinja, not that we do not apply, but we have applied individually and as groups. Understand me? So none of us. But you can more on the internet, they are beneficiaries. Nietola doko jibe a new one. No gap min katala aka warabatal.
Agriculture is not just a way of life, it is the foundation of our survival, our economy, and our future in the Gambia and across Africa. Farming is a symbol of strength, resilience, and self-reliance. Every seed planted carries a dream of feeding our family, building communities, and empowering generations. Our soil is rich, our people are hardworking, and the sun shines on us with purpose.
Ndem pa Samba Drammeh uluta Gunjur janne. Farming nga start 2020 le corona yani. So kana sani sa for 5 years be garden oka. Jang wole be kelana de la fulan jamati. Actually me motivate particularly ni nata mol la Carola would be Yusfa Baro and Sidia Baro. Was Ninani used for a Kachaston some time ago, Nim Mansour, so we motivate Bakele. Kadung le munakul kono, so along the line, not a doing big. Farming, I have not inherited farming because near GB, the land that we acquired, we bought the land, we started everything from scratch. So, we do go around, see people who are doing, the same thing that we wanted to do. So. It's not something that I inherited. Yeah. That I can say because every year mostly man tell me expect what challenges less. So if I'm kalonko there is a change somewhere else. Yeah, I understand. Always mostly every year new challenges like that. So as a farmer you have to be very observant. Yeah, understand. So perhaps even like what happened to the rainy season last year, or see if way Jamabal affected. Yeah.
Then from when you started to now?
Falling Walla Carola, there has been a big change because near Jibe, someone who started with a well at the beginning, so you bought a water, you move to a generator. You bought a water, you move to a borehole with a solar, understand? And then you move to ikalole to water, and then you move from there to drip irrigation. Yeah, understand? Sanyika dulali ele jiwe bon, but I know beka bindeke. So you bought a binde fananto sanyika mbusola plastic mulch. Now you don't do weeding. Yeah, I understand. And you don't also broadcast fertilizer with your hand. You use a fertilizer injector. So I can say the 5 years coming from where we started, there is a big difference. We have moved and we still believe that we're gonna move every year.
All right. Do you think farming is respected enough in today's society?
Yeah, I think so because it's obvious. More nyabaje can the people who are doing farming, ibe kind of development main taken. So I would say right now is something that everyone wants to do. So akunumana bima kai gabale bije. Yeah, that is is manifested in our group. More milbe bentola association or academically they are all good, and then these are people milanko be yela doku le filije. Doltal milanko doku kendolno. Ye wole filije kanaka farming. But once you embark on it, you find a difference in Jelako. The gap is too big. with other jobs. Yeah, I'm a technician. I do also sales. I do sell things like phones and laptops. But by profession, I'm a hotel receptionist. I think I have worked, about 5 different hotels, and some of them are very good ones, like 5-star hotels. Yeah, I think so. Young people are interested in farming because among the people, Molmin Kananang, to talk to us, that they want to start it. Most of them be like young people already. So more will be an interest, but if you tell them, like you have a talk with them and then you enlighten them, the details, mean BJ atol can mean sort of things like that. So some of them can interest, I would say farming is among the key things because at least akadomoro samba na molele you understand fengol da ye bo kolearen, like if nintol mo jama ye production, okay, at some point fengol da ka talala, so ni fengol da talata ndawalo be talala. And then also, like ntol ka mimbewa, you cannot do this entire work by yourself. You have to bring in people dole tarefe permanently, but dole they will come on daily basis and then you'll be to ka fensotol. So in other words, you create employment for people. Yeah, in other words, you create employment for people. Musika moment samana work as seal. Yeah, you can see the vast land. If I want to do all this by myself, and then I might not be able to. Exactly. Challenges, particularly, I would say the beginning was the financial aspect. Like you have the know-how, but in order for you to execute it, the finance part becomes a problem. So you have to do it gradually, small by small, whatever you have, and then you invest that back in. So for that in a near growth GB, like it's progressive. Like our subsequent years are always better than the previous ones. So apart from that challenging, sometimes like if you need, farm help, like you wanna bring in people to work and then pay them, yeah, understand. And then another challenge is like na do fengol niman calendar correctly osoro ika do kele ye ben time of whereby things are exorbitantly rampant in the market. So for you to have a good price, aka kolea bakel. So near cost of production GB, in other it becomes very challenging. So that's why we go through, a very respected calendar. So Marseille can batandile aussi faltenting. And then the cost of production, because most of the things that we use, Jamababe Kabondi in Senegal, say if I can use Salome Keten Fengol Beka Salel. You understand? No. We have not received any support from the government. Though grants all kafintile on the internet, we do apply. So in any man kili, I want to the mati mosi atale, we do apply a lot. So none of us can kill wasifal rules landing grants all we have applied them. So more than a man kill wasifal. But I particularly IOM through Reliance Bank, I received a material worth of 50,000 from them. That was some years ago, and that has really helped. So that's the only grant in Minnesota. That was IOM through Reliance Bank. Yeah, I understand. So, but Marco Rola Carola no. So that's why we design our own, strategy the combat lanya, because hence kongaje ko nyino na baluoti, and then we want to grow. So sanyi if only be ajela ikamin doku sanyi, you at least put in 80% back into the garden. So that's why enjoyment no man tala wadarim back, because in kaminso don ko wole murundi. That's why we have moved from mominka a bed size, let's say a bed size length of 30 meters aka wo 4 da mawa, so we can move for 100 plus. So that's, we were able to achieve all that because in kaminso don ka wole do murundi je.
So like how do you store or sell your produce after?
So fengol woka ninga kati mbika store, we just have to release it to go to the market. So wo ngadi njende njayo lela puri ya wafuye. So wo fanandung jeni ka correct one or soto. Aka dule nak. Ike busan ne photo nya sabat. So middlemen are very notorious. So but lucky for us ndola association obetu nga mo kilina sto minka na fengo wafunye wo mu bare mbala ti mbasibi. No mi alonko mo tan nim fembe ka sile mo be ka fen soto ebe min fola no ala karola. I always aka price wo min din tolla wala ka siya mo be tati from some people mile bota neighboring villages solte ebe na association o kono dolika kilia ngana fo nyam. Because can you imagine niye moja akala bakaso selendi masima kan ka bondi kabiri mbusuran dinto kana sambana fo Gunjur ntolla njende njayo e salon ko mari ba kata kamba eso min soto is quite better than model kamindina na association o warta so nin damal sitan kachara nkajela koloko always intol kamin sto wolbe ka wosto model fanka nyimin kala ka keno nyaadile so mbasi bele ka na fengol wafunya so sales la karola man challenge soto woto alhamdulillah. Ka funding kel wo ma koy mansala karola I would love to state few things. I understand ika youth sotole mili alon ko they are willing to work, you understand, so ika naki mol la le mili ba kan for you know how nyimbe long, but now for them to start go finance bika taraji, you understand. I have started with well, I know how hectic it is purunka na ko bonno kabo buloto kabo kolongoto ye fen soto je mi alon ko abe significant. So I believe the government or the agriculture sector say invest no useful tole you understand, and then this in other words will create employment. But then family but say more ni London nyimbe siri ne bika execute no. For us what we are doing today we know most of it some years ago, but unti akela no that at that particular time because finance yintigi, understand. So ana manke government for the finti individual or can some relatives ye la plan landi pour ye mako no but jama ba bika lela ye understand. So after that also ninko left the food sustainability sabatendela banko kankai I think was second ole but ninda ka bambe fulala wa that's it's gonna be a significant impact minkela marché kona dango be doyala. So near rules GB, I'm not trying to against rules, but ni kebe food sustainability le kelekan, you understand. Mo minka bambe flower, you invest on that person and wo bambe fulanya de kata sanya ki bambe jamat, but you investing on a particular set of group of people ila growth nyimbe noto. So I see it impossible that it's possible for them to make any impact in the market. So food sustainability nyimbe kole ala market. Because I think pour farmer ye impact keno marché kono ka ika min do nyande ka siale la do keno nyi nyande ka waral. That is progressive. Ika ibota minto kuno bita ya wara wote. Exactly. So I think agriculture should do better. Let them invest on use idea be mili bulo kono and then after grow lale. Exactly. Particularly if I sako momin bakan. You understand? I think more marko banko marko someone who has already started. I foundation okele already. Ko mari marko I ta nyato. You understand? That's kind of like a wise investment than yet I start scratch with someone who has zero idea about the entirety. So, Nina Marco 5 years, Nina collects. We are close to 100. None of us has received help from the government. And on Grand Sol Katala Farenja, not that we do not apply, but we have applied individually and as groups. Understand? So none of us. But eka more on the internet, milanko they are beneficiaries. Nietela doko jibe a new one. No gap min katale je aka warabakel. Ka warababa bakel days old. Last month on the 15th nga start. But debates were treated very well before nkakanjo nyimfi. Olonga organic matter ke bed wo bed tole asiri. Then nada kanjo nyim fee, and then from there we do fertigation on a regular basis. Was near jambandi KGB sign, komika wawurma basi nya killing wanted a respected mode of fertilizer application, which is called fertigation. Euro ka respond wala back dina than ye but for what ding yawa. So near Dulani size for GB, this is about 106 meters. And our widthing is 45 meters. So you can bambe 43 lebida, each with a length of 45 meters. Yeah, understand. So kanjiran sabalbe borolin dulawo dulato with a spacing of 40 centimeters apart. So bedo fongola fano is 1 meter 10. Kabondije. Donc sisebo use, but if I want to use sisebo, that is poultry waste, will be expensive la bakel. You understand? So each bed at least aka 4 wheelbarrow style. Some beds 5, depending on the cast. Broadcast nyame. We also use NPK and urea, all things like that. We use NPK, we use calcium nitrate, potassium sulfate, and potassium nitrate, and monopotassium phosphate. In all be useless. So, but particularly NPK, you have to know which one Ibeming apply, because you just don't go to the market here NPK some. There are NPKs that are good. The composition on is good for like at the starting stage of a plant. So for you NPK sequence you understand. When maybe we use you see the flowering, you have to drop that the one which is good for flowering. So nibe production of fanana inyande ka me use production of fanana inyande ka wolong. But hence it might really long, like a near production one we use at a starting stage, it might not be well. Anyway, say usual advice no mean now before you start something, know it first. Wasn't all before we started, we read a lot of farming things on the internet. Understanding the particular crops that left in Milwala, will read like Kendek. So, but Manda water, we have visited many farms. We want to talk to you. We want to know what are the challenges you face. So, Nyimbe Gadale, Kata Sambuyan Wolujang, places like Tubakuta Wol, Buslandi Wol, Tolda Dula Jamado. And Nundamal Kanyo Fanang Kata Nyoyal. You understand? So, I'm told more than economy yako nga belone. Like I know all isi dula killing. No. Because you visit it is challenge me so to ya say. You understand? And experience. Like think of on colleagues. Learning is of two ways. Ni other farming nakaro. It's either you go and talk to people. Miliye saba. Woli experience for your nila mistakes. You learn from that. It becomes cheaper for you. Ite mistakes if I'll kill. Or way from way without asking anyone, then your mistake also and in challenges you learn from them. And I think that's more expensive. You understand? So until we don't sit on anything a mil long. You understand? Because a mil long immersion. We have asked people molye fonye. You understand? Nga mili be read from the internet molle yake. Ka channel sol mim follow on YouTube molle ke upload je free of charge. You understand? So say it wouldn't be good for us until now along a siaka. You understand? It's a saying more jamaka mean for like we don't say. You understand? Until we say. But if you call someone, the person is working. You understand? You want to keep that person on the phone for 30 minutes. That's something else. At least I think these things have to be arranged or civil. So but I think some people can hear for a free of charge. They don't tend to respect it or take it. But only a mil long, I might enter the mat, speaking on behalf of our entire, association. And a mil long, more because see la kumokan. Always near me call telephone at any time. We tell you. Benefang spray la minanka fwe. Be fertilizer jamale use la. We tell you. You understand? So, but a challenging back. When you are working, your phone is with you, and then you want to talk to maybe more than 30 people a day. At some point, it's a big do kukeno or sifal. And then you cannot manage many farms on the telephone like that. But my advice to youth, wolonko, what can they farm water? You understand? Ndole mol min be nyininka. mo bi ka mo jibe ya foko ntele ya long katambit but ya lon dola fulo la kajo nyoe terete la ka kwendi you understand ninda mal bendan dada nyola dolato min ya family. So I advise young people, if you want to start, go and see us or any person who is doing gardening. Yeah, marine in the person will tell you. You understand? And there is a way to start. Come, it's a famous idea. Many people are start Gambia all on more after gardening or kela. Ikaja ko enyande ka kano le wa wole be kodo deal, which is wrong. Which is wrong. You know that the past months kano, you know, was abundant. You know, in the price went down drastically because more Jamal Bekano produce can. You understand? But at least now balanced. You understand? At this year, usually in previous year, sign can tell be that can katola, but none of us cannot a mobile con. Kuifo the mobile con from a sako ajo. You understand? Because famer saying you fana understand. So as a young, you know, a youth who wants to start, the intelligent can all for. You understand? At this particular time, near Nyimfen Karwa. You understand? Work minta is fast. For example, okra is fast. 2 months abika work ye do marse kono and ibika work di jama do DJ. Then you, when you start from that, you start kolongola. You can use the money of that okra. It abo whole lot of things like that. But if you don't have that plan, it's not a year way from where kai you know wale bije. Ibi less to je kai. So what na model kaloe ka foko farming fenti je or sifat. I believe is their approach. Ya kumas nyami. So a youth, I believe, I would say like go round force. At least you have an idea exactly. So then you know what you want to do. Then sanji saje ya wano. Then the room for a failure would be very small or tight. A space be do ala bakele puri ye failure.